All right, mate. Yeah, sorry for late reply. I've been online, but I've just getting that much phone calls and that much stuff going on this week. That last 2 weeks, it's been crazy. Hopefully, after this week, it might quieten down a bit. Market's not moving much anyway. But HEX here is almost identical to AVAX, right? I've already started buying AVAX, and obviously I want to buy lower. I'd be delighted if AVAX keeps dropping lower. Very happy to buy lower. At some point, this should get a retrace back up. You know, be it $40, be it $60, be it if we get the right pattern. You know, sometimes it consolidates down here for a bit and then barts back up, right? So that's essentially what I'm accumulating for the potential bart back up eventually, wherever, whatever way it happens. Like, now this is not the greatest example, but let's look at it anyway. You can see down here, look at ADA here. You get the retrace back down. Now, of course, this was a different setup because it was a bearish stop on setup and came right down below the previous year. AVAX and HEX here, they have different setups. They had previous candles here and different things, which is more volume, which creates more volume, which creates let's just look at it here. I've never looked at this before. Yeah, look at this volume here down here. So that's exactly what I'm trying to get at. It's a great example, and I had never looked at that before, but I know if there's a second year down here, there's likely to be a bunch of volume, which can be massive support, and AVAX is probably the same. Let's look here. I would like, now that it's on my mind, I would like to look at this. So you come down and you create the high volume node down here, and price will use that and respect that, and eventually get back above that. And when it gets back above that safely, it can then moon back to the upside. So actually, I'll keep that on. I just want to look at. I know I'm kind of sidetracked on your question, and I am getting to it. So you can see right down here. Look at where is this? That's down to $4. Right, $364. So I've already started buying here, buying small. But you know, if we get anywhere near that $4 level, I will be loading a boatload of AVAX. Don't really think it's going to get down there, to be honest. You don't have to retest this level, but I'm just saying that you know, worst case scenario, you know, maybe it could get down there. I hope it gets down there, to be honest. So with that in mind, you know, the worst case scenario is that that HEX gets back down there. I don't think we do get down there, but you know, if there's a bit of a financial crisis, if there's, you know, if the shit really hits the fan in the stock market and it's as bad as some people think it's going to be, you know, to me it looks like the stock market's going to roll over lower and go to new lows. So I'm very, very open to this rejecting here and rolling lower. Can it get this low? I'm not too sure, but it's a very important. If it gets there, I would say start buying. I would say yes, load the boat. Start loading a boat anyway. At least, you know, see, it's only down 92% here, and that's down to 98%. Honestly, like, I mean, a coin like HEX, can that drop back 98%? I don't know. If the market is bad enough, yes, it can. That's where the volume is. That's where, look where the other part of the volume. Here's where I would start to buy, actually. Right there. That's where I would start to buy. This is a scene of the crime. Look at this. See this pivot here? That's exactly where the market broke out from. This is the breakout point. This is the scene of the crime right here at 18.9. Oh, sorry, 1 cent. 1.89 cent right on there, right in here. That's the scene of the crime. This is where price originally broke out from and went parabolic. So this point is the point where I would start to buy. And if it gets in here, well, I think it's a fantastic place to be accumulating, right in down in there. You know, that means that would mean that the stock market is going to roll over, and we're going to have to. You know, we've got time, and that it's going to roll over basically if we're going in there. So if you're buying up here, if you're tempted to buy up here, I would make sure it's very small. You know, have it a quarter of a position, for example. If you have, you know, I'll just throw out a number. If you have $10,000, you know, you would put $2,000 here, or $2,500 maybe, but you need to be prepared to continue to average that down into these lows down here. something else I just want to look at here very quickly. XEM here. Where is this? Okay, I want a daily chart, I think. Is this daily? Yeah. So let's just look at this daily chart here. I should have paused it, saved some time on the video, but we're nearly there. So what I wanted to look at is this point right here. I want to delete this. So if we look here, look at this white 100 moving average here, and you can see here, you know, we also have, look at this spike here, look at this spike here, look at this spike right in here. You know, we do have spikes up into liquidity above, and now we are getting trapped under the white 100 moving average. See the way this got trapped under the white 100 moving average and continue to roll? At this point, we have to think that HEX still has a decent chance of rolling over, and if it does roll over again, well, the place where I talked about, that's where we want to be buying HEX. I'm wary at this point because XEM, right? XEM is a very similar coin to HEX. I don't mean fundamentally, I mean as a chart. You know, you get the big lead up, you get the parabolic move, and you get obviously the retrace, and this also dropped 98% from memory. Right, look at this. And we all know what happened after that. We all know what XEM did after that. So you can see right there, that's a 98%. So this is 98% down also on HEX. So, you know, can this drop? I would say yes. There's a decent chance that HEX can get the whole way back down there and do the full retrace back to the scene of the crime, and even a little bit below down to the point of control. We all know what happened. Let's just make this a little bit bigger. You can see what happened. Look at the retrace on this. But if you're even if you started to accumulate here, right? It's not a bad place, but you need to be prepared to add lower. You can see there that this is your first accumulation point if you're buying right now in theory, and then you continue to add lower. And if it gets down to 98% down, well, you start loading up, all right? Because you know, that would have to be a good area, and then you want to sell into the spike. Like HEX, if HEX gets down there, I'm going to be buying it. I don't even know how to buy HEX. I don't know what exchanges it's on, but if it gets down to those points, I will be. I'm going to set an alarm down there. I want to be buying some HEX down there. If HEX gets down to these levels, yes, I would love to load a boat on HEX. You can see I've done that already. 16x. You know that there's a lot of fans out there that love HEX, right? They really do love HEX and stuff. So you can see I've got two alarms on there. I'm going to change these. You can see here I've just load the boat here on the first alarm, and on the second alarm I've also load the boat down here on HEX. Okay, so these two alarms down here load the boat. If we get down there, I want to be buying some of this as well. Now, if it does get down there, for example, and we get say you don't get the very low, say it goes down to the point of control, and your buy average is a bit above that, well, you can see, I mean, that's a 10x. Can we get a 10x or a 13x off HEX? I would suggest so. I mean, if you actually buy on the point of control right down there, you can see it's a 20x back up to the pivot, and at some point you would think that's very possible. Now, to even get a 10x, you know, you have to think that's really, really, really easily possible. You just need patience and buy down in this area down here. You know, you can start buying there and add lower to get your average down as close to that point of control as possible. And from that point, if you can get close to the point of control, you could 10-20x this, in theory at least. So for me, I'm not buying HEX yet. If we get down there, I will very happily buy some HEX. And look at this. See this low here? Look at the way we came up and came down and took out this low. We stop hunted this previous low. If we get that stop hunt on these lows in about, well, say we're here right now. That's November. The low was in February. So that's 2 to 2.5 months, right? The low could be in. Right, that'll be a buy point if that happens. Okay, if that happens, and you can see then from February right through to the next February, right? You can see December, January, February, even March. So there's another year from this point, from this low. There was another year of being able to buy down on the lows, and well, you can make life-changing money with that sort of stuff if you understand it, if you have the patience for it, and like if you can buy, if it gives this opportunity. Look at that opportunity to buy below this previous low. I mean, this is a buy here, of course that's a buy, but if you stop on these lows, I mean, you just have to load up on that. Let's hope HEX gives the same. Can you imagine buying below the point of control? Right, and see the way this all went below the point of control. If you can buy below that point of control, even to this first pivot there is a 23x. Let's not make it too much below it. Just see. Hold on a minute. Is that a 38x? What did I just do? I moved it now. Yeah, so you can see it's a 30x. If you can buy below the point of control, that is a 30x up to this pivot. And as you can see, there's a very good chance it does go higher. That's a 50 something x. You can see here what this did. That went back up to the top. Pivots are up to the neckline. You can see the neckline is actually up here. If it went back to the neckline, you sold at the neckline, well, you know, it's a 50 to 60x. If we get to this point of control, I will be loading boats.